Fresh OpenSea drama. So over the weekend, there was a major phishing attack. It impacted 17 users, they say, and it's not quite clear how all of this started. So OpenSea is still to determine the exact source of the phishing attack. And it was first detected in the early hours of Sunday morning, and people have interacted with some sort of phishing link and then migrated their NFTs to a different smart contract and then lost control of them. It's not pretty. I think a lot of people were probably surprised that that would happen when they went into their OpenSea account and saw that their NFTs were no longer there. So blockchain security company Peck Shield said that the exploit was most likely phishing, although they are still trying to figure out the cause, where the user authorizes the migration of their NFTs to a new smart contract, allowing them to be stolen. And it comes in the back of a bunch of other OpenSea dramas. So there's a current lawsuit against OpenSea for apparently having vulnerabilities that weren't officially announced to users and weren't adequately educated about to users. And there's other hacks that they paid out $1.8 million, I think, in January from a hack there. Like, there's NFTs is expensive and filled with exploits. Like, people should be real careful. But I'm going to throw it, Jen, I'll throw it to you to start off with. What's your thought on all of this?
Well, I first think that OpenSea is valued at 13 point something billion dollars, right? And they keep raising these massive rounds, but it seems like customer service and fixing these bugs and contributing to education for their users might not be top of mind. You mentioned that the bug and the lawsuit, and the person who filed the lawsuit said that they had tried to contact OpenSea several times with no response, but OpenSea did pay out that $1.8 million you mentioned, Naomi, in January to people who had lost their NFTs in a situation with the same bug. So I do think that this person has a case here. As I was doing some research this morning, I saw that there is a class action lawsuit being put together by a law firm called Krimical, Schwartz, Kreiner, and Donaldson Smith. They are soliciting for people who have lost their NFTs in the same way with this bug. And so it will be interesting to see what happens to OpenSea as we move forward. And I think that maybe they could lose their first mover advantage because of all of this. It doesn't seem like they're taking it seriously, but Naomi, I'll pass it back up to you.
I mean, I would love to dig into the details of that class action lawsuit, because if you dive into what this exploit was, I mean, OpenSea claims that it wasn't actually an exploit. It's the nature of the blockchain, and it's, you can interact with things that were previously listed at a lower price. Like, it's not necessarily OpenSea that is creating this exploit. I mean, Zach, I'll throw it to you because perhaps you have more information on that.
Yeah, I think it's one of these sort of fundamental paradigm shifts, right? These are not companies as you normally think of them, right? In this lawsuit that came to light yesterday, there's a line where it's like, and OpenSea didn't reverse the transaction, and therefore, the person is seeking damages, et cetera, right? So OpenSea can't reverse the transaction. It's merely a front end on a blockchain that's making this work in a way that is different from how people are used to interacting with tech companies. And again, this is this mainstreaming moment in which we're going to see more and more of these misunderstandings, especially in these ugly, contentious, really painful situations for people like this who have lost a significant sum of money. They're seeking legal recourse in a world that doesn't necessarily exist as it had previously. So I think we're seeing here both just a really unfortunate set of circumstances. Social engineering, hacks, phishing, all sorts of bad stuff have been in crypto for a while. There's all these new people who are new to crypto by way of NFTs. Some of them are very valuable now, so we're seeing that as well. And now we have the OpenSea lawsuits coming, sort of, again, having people seek redress in ways that are familiar to them. So I don't know. I see this as sort of we're going to see a lot of this, but again, it's sort of this paradigm shift brings about fresh conflicts in terms of who's responsible for stuff like this. Is it the front end on the Ethereum blockchain where these NFTs are where these NFT receipts are stored, or is it someone else? Or can the devs do something, right? Like, we need to be able to sort of figure out what this looks like for people who end up in these situations coming down the line. But I'll toss it back to you, Naomi, for your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And I always have hesitation and skepticism when people are like, you didn't protect me from my own choices. It's like, guys, it's 2022. Don't click the link. It's like the number one rule of internet usage. You're not like 5 years old interacting with this system. You've been using this for a really long time. It's how you use the internet. Be really careful of phishing scams. So before you click on things in emails, make sure it's going to the actual website that the hyperlink says it's going to. Make sure in the actual website, you're looking at the URL carefully, making sure it's the same thing. If you don't trust yourself to be able to make these choices, get yourself a YubiKey, which is going to authenticate and only let you into the actual website because it pairs specifically with an exact URL. So you're protecting yourself from your own your inability to judge what is a real and what is not a real website. So there are so many tools out there that can help you protect yourself. And yes, it's heartbreaking. My heart goes out to these people. They've lost a ton of money. Like, this must absolutely suck. And so I really hope that instead of it being like a call to entitlement and you must protect me from my own actions, this is a wake-up call for these people to really invest that much needed time in understanding internet security, because it's just not an excuse anymore to be able to rely on lawsuits to get your money back when you make a mistake on the internet. You need to be making smart choices. And sometimes you will be caught out, and that really sucks, but you can do a lot to mitigate a lot of those situations. You can being really careful with URLs and not clicking on things goes a really long way. But Will, I'll throw it to you for your thoughts.
Yeah, just on the heels of ETH Denver last week, this isn't super surprising. We talked to a lot of people who said that NFTs were their first gateway into crypto, and that 12 seed phrase password is always a stumbling block for people. I think this is no different here with NFTs. People are going to continue doing this. We're going to see more lawsuits in the future is my thinking around this. And firms like OpenSea are going to have to deal with it. That's just how it is.